There's no doubt about it. The electrification of mobility is now being felt here in the Philippines, and we're seeing an increasing number of options from a myriad of brands across multiple price points, from the relatively affordable to the premium. While there are many out there who have indeed gone for battery electric vehicles or BEVs, it's hard not to ignore the fact that the country's charging infrastructure still leaves much to be desired. And that remains to be a major sticking point, keeping many on the ICE part of the fence. But there's a more palatable or easier option available for those wanting to veritably have their cake and eat it too. If we take a look at it, electric vehicle sales in the Philippines, hybrids actually comprise 90% of them. Among the hybrids, perhaps the truest bridge to the battery electric form is the plug-in hybrid. You get introduced to the concept of charging a battery, yet do not have to panic when the charge runs low because there's a good old-fashioned gas or diesel-fed engine ready to save you, provided of course that you have fuel in the tank. Even as BMW Philippines already has a number of fully electric vehicles, it now takes full advantage of the import duty relief enacted starting in the second quarter of 2024. This means that hybrid vehicles sourced from outside the ASEAN region, which already enjoys free trade benefits courtesy of the AFTA, will get similar relief until 2028. Enter the BMW X5 xDrive50e M Sport. This is a plug-in hybrid variant of the current generation X5 and gets the good looks of its siblings. Up front, we start of course with the signature kidney grille, here getting what BMW calls an iconic glow. Basically, some strategically placed lighting for added visibility and drama at night. Flanking it are LED lamps with a high beam assistant, which, through a camera positioned in the rear view mirror, it detects a variety of things such as light conditions. The system will switch automatically from high to low beam when oncoming traffic is detected and during certain conditions. This X5, being an M Sport variant, means it gets touches here and there that make it look even more appealing and aggressive, such as 20-inch M-Lite alloy double-spoke wheels with run-flat mixed tires, with air pressure monitoring as well. And it also has those distinctive M Sport brakes. The X5 PHEV also gets an adaptive 2-axle air suspension. Speaking of which, you can adjust the ride height through a control button inside. And because it's an X model, you get BMW's all-wheel drive capability. But let's get to the most important part right away. Pop open the hood to see what motivates this PHEV SUV. In the bay resides a gas-sipping BMW twin-power turbo engine, a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder heart pumping out 489 horsepower and 700 Newton-meters of torque, supplemented by a synchronous motor that, when fully charged, lets the driver go on a pure electric drive for up to 118 kilometers. This is possible through a 25.7 kilowatt-hour battery pack per WLTP. Through an 8-speed Steptronic sport transmission, the X5 can speed from a standstill to 100 kilometers per hour in 4.8 seconds, onto a top rate of 250 kilometers per hour. Alone, the internal combustion engine will give you double-digit fuel economy without even trying too hard. But the electric motor kicking in during hybrid or even pure electric mode, well, you know you can stretch that range and your fuel even longer, considering this is one mammoth vehicle. One of the key differences between the plug-in hybrid variant of the X5 and the traditional or ICE version, you can detect that the flooring of the cargo hold is a little bit elevated. And this of course accounts for the battery, the huge battery that the plug-in hybrid has. So as far as space goes, maybe that's the only compromise that you get. BMW's cabin execution, to my mind, has always been top-notch. And the X5 PHEV is no different. Designers offer an embarrassment of riches by way of material selection. There's a lot to take in and admire, such as the fine wood trim, poplar green anthracite brown wood accent on the dash. You get my point. This freestanding screen houses both the 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster and 14.9-inch widescreen display for the infotainment screen. Be aware that there will be a bit of a learning curve as you get used to navigating menus and controls for functions like the air conditioning, which offers 4 zones by the way. But the driver will have a choice of either touchscreen or the newest iteration of the iDrive. Redundancy perhaps, or maybe BMW just wants you to have choices. At any rate, the infotainment system finds its voice through a Harman Kardon surround sound system, which I found to be thoroughly well tuned as I played music through Apple CarPlay. The BMW X5 also features the brand's connected services, which keeps your vehicle fully up to date through over-the-air software updates, which are free, by the way. The multi-power adjustment sport seats with memory and lumbar support feature are what BMW calls Sensafin Decor stitching upholstery. The seating position is generous with plenty of head and elbow room. You get a nice perch in the X5 from which you can take in more of the road and the periphery. Now let's check out the second row seats. With the front seat adjusted to my preference, we can see that there's adequate legroom for me here. What I would like to have seen though is a panoramic sunroof to provide even more visual cues for space. I guess a sunroof is something that you actually don't think about much until you don't have one. What do you think? Well, we do have this sunblind, which I think has become a must in more premium vehicles. Alright, for the ICE part of the powertrain, and you can feel that torque when you get a little bit heavy on the gas. And if you go into sport mode, well, all bets are off. That's even crazier. As for the motor, it delivers 118 kilometers per full charge. That's according to WLTP studies or tests. And that is courtesy of a 25.7 kilowatt-hour battery. Maybe in the future, if BMW can fit this with an even bigger battery, then we can grow that range even more. I mean, the pure electric range. And that will surely appeal to more people who want to figure out what the fuss is about in electric vehicles. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed our first look at the BMW X5 xDrive50e M Sport. How do you feel about it? Let us know in the comments below. And if you haven't yet, please do subscribe to my channel. So from Park Links, this has been Cap Maceda Aguila. I'll see you guys soon.